Well, hello and welcome to My Own Magic Reviews. I'm Mike Maione, and this is My Own Magic Reviews. Hey, tonight we're not going to review a product, a prop, or a routine, or an effect. We're going to review something different. It's an aid. It's something to help you learn a memorized deck, if that's what you like to do. And the product we're going to look at is something called the Trainer Deck by Thom Parkin. It's as it says, a memorized deck aid, and this is what it looks like. It's just something to help you remember a memorized deck. Why would you want to learn a memorized deck? Oh, you can do lots of things with a memorized deck. Let me show you just a couple. This is pretty easy. Somebody can cut the pack, and they can cut anywhere, and you can turn around and just sort of say, oh, I know the weight. I work with cards so often, and I can tell that I'm holding 23 cards. I'm just very good at this. My fingertips can, it's like a scale. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, right on the button. You can also do something very simple, which there are a million different ways to do this kind of effect, but somebody can pick a card, any card at all. Let's say they pick this one, and then you could immediately tell that this was the 8 of clubs. The memorized deck is basically a stack of cards in a particular order. There's basically two kinds. There are sequential stacks, and then there are memorized stacks. Sequential stack is basically a repeating pattern, and there are two that are most common are Sty Stebbins and 8 Kings. And if you learn the pattern, you can determine with a little calculation what the next card or the previous card in your hand is based on this little calculation and based on knowing the pattern. Now, some people don't like to use a sequential deck because they think people might see the pattern and prefer to use a memorized deck that has like a more random, undiscernible pattern. And so they go for a completely memorized deck. And the two that are the most common are the Aronson stack and the Mnemonica or Tamara's stack. I learned the Tamara stack, and I picked it because in his book, Tamaraz offers a couple of different ways to learn a memorized deck. Now, I know you could try and learn it with, like just brute force. I can't learn that way. So I thought I would get his book, $65, because he offers some methods to learning. He calls it the ultra rapid memorization, an afternoon's work. It's not. Don't be deceived. It's not an afternoon's work. Even with the trainer deck, it's not an afternoon's work. It's going to take some practice. It's going to take some work. But he does give a couple of different methods. He says there's an auditory method and a visual method. And the auditory method, well, he recommends you sing a song, that you know the tune, but change the words so that the words are the value and the position in the stack of the cards. And, then record it and listen to it, and, that'll get it into your head. I'll give you an example. For 3 blind mice. 1 is the 4 of clubs. 2 is the 2 of hearts. 3 is the 7 of diamonds. Awful. It didn't work for me. I had to rely on the visual method. And the visual method, with the visual method, he recommends that you take a deck of cards and you write all over the face of each card the number of the card, so you know what position in the deck it should be, and connect it in some way to the pips or the image that you have there, and you see that image, and you will remember the value. Maybe it's a mustache you draw on a jack, or his example where you pull those clubs into the number 1. Well, now that's exactly what Thom has done with the trainer deck. He's created a deck of cards that has all the images already prepared for you. You don't have to try and calculate out or figure out what kind of image you're going to make in there that's going to be able to get in your head and remind you. He's done that for you. In fact, let's take a look at the first card in his Tamaraz trainer deck. He's taken all the pips, the 4 clubs, put them together, and made a number 1. That's going to be pretty easy. I don't think you're going to forget that the first card in the Tamaraz stack is the number 1. 4 clubs line up and make a 1. Here's another one. This is the 9 of diamonds, which happens to be the last card in the stack. That's card number 52. And you'll remember that because the drawing there is exactly what you'll see when you pull your stacked deck out of the box. There it is. So that's going to be an easy one for you to remember. In fact, those are probably the easiest 2 cards to remember in the Tamaraz stack. Here's another nice one. This one's got a great visual image. It's 3 diamonds inside a carton of eggs, and of course, a carton of eggs has a dozen eggs. So the 3 diamonds are number 12. I like this image. This is one of my favorite images because, because I remember what a 45 is. See, this is an image of the Jack of Spades who happens to like music, and he happens to be listening to a 45, which, if you're old, you're younger than 30, you won't know what a 45 is. But a 45 is literally a vinyl recording. It's a single, and it moves around your record player at 45 revolutions per minute. So it's a good image for me. I won't forget that. What do I like about the trainer deck? I think it's effective. I think the visual method is the way to learn. And since Thom has already done all the work for you, I think this is a very effective and will save you a lot of time if you want to learn a memorized deck. So it's effective. I think it's effective. It's a time saver. If you had to draw all the pictures, well, first off, I don't think they'd be that good. But, you know, this is going to help you. They're all drawn by a storybook artist. So, they look good. They're really pretty good images. Almost all of them are really very, very, very smart and connect the value of the card with its position in the deck. I also like that it's that Thom has links you up with an excellent website that has a lot of resources. He updates that as new tips and information becomes available. So that'll be available to you when you get your trainer deck. By the way, the trainer deck comes in Aronson version or in Tamaraz stack. I also like the price. I don't think it's expensive at all at $25. What I don't like about the trainer deck, I don't like the fact that it doesn't come with a box. You get the cards and they're just blister packed. So if you're gonna practice, you're gonna learn to use a memorized deck. Well, you're gonna want to use this, and you're gonna want to have it in your pocket all the time, every place you go. As soon as you have a few moments spare, you're gonna try and test yourself and remember a new card or relook at a couple that you might have missed. So you're gonna want to carry these around with you. Is that a deal breaker? No. You can use any box that you might have lying around the house or a rubber band. But still, I think it should have had a box. I'm not crazy about the back design either. I think there's too much white space. Now, I understand some people like to write the number of the card on the back and they can just drill themselves that way. But I'm sorry, this is just too light. There's no contrast really between the front of the deck, face of the deck, and the back. I would have liked at least some bolder image so that I would recognize right away that it's the back. And but there is something interesting in the back design, and that is the border. And as you can see in the border, all the cards are in sequence, so you can look quickly and get the relative position of one card to the other. So, like you see in the upper right-hand corner, you can see 4 of clubs, 2 of hearts, 7 of diamonds. I won't sing it this time. What else? Well, this little flimsy piece of paper is what you get with the website, and the remarkably good website, um, with the information on it and a QR code. And then that's going to get lost right away. It's just a crummy little piece of paper. It looks like it might have even been cut with a scissor. Um, Important information, something you need to have. But, I would have rather seen it incorporated into the back design. I think that that's important information you want to not lose. So you can do what I do. I take a picture right away with my cell phone and put all of these valuable cards with QR codes and information about any prop that I might buy into my camera roll and mark it favorites. So this way, I always have that piece of paper, which I will surely lose, and you will lose as well. So, what do I give the trainer deck? I give the trainer deck 4.5 stars. I like it. I like it a lot, and I think you will too. And if you're interested in getting a trainer deck, it comes in Aronson or Tamaraz. You decide which one you want, and you can get it for $25. It's available through Thom's website, which is www.memdeck-trainer.com. If you go to that website and you're calling and you're interested and you're not in the U.S., then do by all means hit the contact us button, because the shipping is a little more expensive than it is inside the U.S. So the website, memdeck-trainer.com. That's where you get where you can purchase either the Aronson stack or the Tamaraz stack trainer deck. So until next time.